song.
Mike's her, huh? Paul Monnin with brand new music here on your Tuesday afternoon alternative. How you doing, music friends? I hope everybody is having a delightful day today. It's a little overcast, but you know what? Things could be so much worse than they are. Before that, you heard the Orchids with Didn't We Love You? Brand new music from them. Thank you so much, Amelia, for keeping me up to date on all that. I cannot say thank you enough. Well, so I mentioned Paul Monnin of Age Nowhere, Neo-American Pioneers. I'm sure we might find out there's 2 or 3 other projects as well.
That's not.
but no, in all seriousness, Paul Monnin is here in the studio. He, of course, wrote No One Cares.
I did.
So first of all, I want to say thank you. Right? The idea that we all take ourselves a little too seriously, that the world revolves around us and all the big problems in our lives. Now, I say all this after I just dumped on poor Paul when he came into the studio.
Well, I write this after, I've been that guy my whole life. And I think we all have it in us. Mm-hmm. And it's not, you just got to recognize it and try to be a little bit better. And I guess that's where I'm at. I definitely not writing No One Cares from the perspective of somebody who's above anything that's in the song. It's really about our collective struggle, I think, just to kind of hang on.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the nature of the song, is that people are just maxed out right now with everything that's going on, and trying to cut through that. People who come at you with like this big like state of importance about everything, and you see this a lot in business, or I don't know, everybody has somebody like this in their life, whatever capacity that may be, somebody who's just always demanding attention, and whatever crisis is in the day for them just needs to be front page news for everybody, and no one cares. It's like a mean way of saying it, but it's supposed to be funny.
Yeah,
and we have the right to not care about everything right now, because you can't care about everything, and there's just a point where everything, you just kind of shut off to it. And so it's not like I'm not that guy, or I haven't been that guy. I am every day, and I just I'm working on it. And I wrote the song. I actually I wrote it the day after I saw Todd Snyder last year.
Okay. I can see the kind of influence.
I love Snyder's work. I've listened to him a lot, and most of his stuff I've gone through at least once. But I've seen him live a number of times too, and it was David and Kent and I went up to Bell Fountain last year to see him, and after we got back, I was hanging out at the house and I wrote this song. And after it kind of sat for a few months, it just struck me as something that I could just record and release, and I had the idea for a lyric video, a music video with the signs, and I could do it all at home, and it would just be like a representation of what I can do, or what something I can put together on my own. It's a Paul Monnin original experience, just top, bottom. I mean, the video's at my house, the actors are all volunteers, thank you very much.
Oh, and
Dr. J.
It was so much fun to be in that.
Featured celebrity guest.
I don't know about celebrity guest part. I'll give you that one. I
think a lot of local celebrities made it into that. I mean,
it was cool. It was a cool experience. I enjoyed making it, but I also just like the whole idea. Of course, I'm the one. I think where the filmmaker Brandon Barry asked me to turn the sign upside down. I'm like, this totally kills my academic cred. But no, in all seriousness, I thought it was a fun, it was just, and I also thought it was an interesting way to bring the ideas in. You're not calling any one person out, you're not criticizing any one person or group of people. It's much more, like you're saying, it's much more general than that. And making a lyric video keeps it that way. It doesn't draw attention to any particular or specific person.
Yeah, Yeah, definitely. I'm glad that feels that way, and that's definitely what I had in mind. And that's normally, I think, something that I try to. I don't even really think about it too much, but it's something that makes sense to approach as a. Or I should say, it's a way that makes sense to approach songwriting, is to think about items that we all have within us and things that we all go through and things that we're collectively experiencing, as opposed to being more narrow or more identity driven. That's just not how I write songs, and that's, to me, it's always how it made most sense to approach songwriting.
Well, and I like the dialectical nature of it, right? Where it's, I don't know if it's permission is the right word, but it's certainly giving people some space or latitude to be able to tune out or turn off or walk away, right? It's almost like a don't carry it all.
Yeah.
You don't have to carry it all.
Yeah.
And all too often, I don't know about, right now I have a lot going on around me, and I think we all do, and we feel the need to carry it with us all the time, and it becomes who we are to other people. And that's exhausting. It's exhausting for you to carry it. It's probably exhausting for people around you to experience that, right? And of course, we all have different moments of weakness or strength, as the case may be. But the idea that we don't have to carry it all is so powerful to me. So I'm curious, so like tongue-in-cheek, there's obviously really strong humorous element to this, but I'm curious if you've given any other thought to that in terms of the music you make, because this is pretty different than Age Nowhere or Neo-American Pioneers.
Yeah, I think that's definitely, yes, I have. I've written more material that's sort of in this pocket, I guess, if you put it that way. I have an outline for an album, and this is on it. This obviously would be a little bit more arranged, but yeah, I like this approach to performing and songwriting and connecting with a group of people. And it, in this particular case, just with the structure of the song, with the finger picking, the short nature of the song, it made sense just to kind of approach it like a live track and let it speak on its own. I guess that was the idea anyway.
Well, and there's I think consistent with the approach in the song, that kind of not throwing a kitchen sink at it, right? Not producing it within an inch of its life serves the tenor of the song.
Yeah,
right?
It would have been really, really dumb to write this song called No One Cares. It's like 2 minutes and 20 seconds long and dress it the heck up.
Exactly. Exactly.
It would have been tremendously ironic and also just way too much. I'm trying not to go down those roads in my life anymore.
Well, and popular music is a good avenue for irony, but I think it would confuse the message of the song a little. Maybe?
It does, I don't know, it kind of has a sort of like, I don't know, off-Broadway kind of feel to it. And somebody asked me like what made me write this song, or how what process I used. And I said I kind of had like a Peter Griffin moment, like cutaway.
You're right.
He'll be that reminds me of the time I was at the restaurant and this happened, and they go to the memory, the flashback, and that a lot of times there'll be like a musical number over there, and that's definitely like how this happened. And in that case, I think a little bit more instrumentation would be fitting. Perhaps like some fountains and like a kick line, but
so we look forward to the No One Cares music.
Yes, exactly.
Well, although I say that, but Dayton has had lots of fun. Let's take something and play with it.
Man, let me tell you something. Like, as somebody who's been part in theater, and there's a lot of collaborative effort in creating live theater and music, but it is so hard. And people who do that at a high level, and people who spend their time doing that, hats off, because that is a heck of a lot of work. And it's to me, it's relatively easy to sit down and write a 2.5 minute song, or a 3 minute song, or a 5 minute song, if you have done it before. If you know how to do that, compared to like outlining 2 hours of activities and music to go along with it, and characters that sing it, casting it, putting it on stage, all the production, and to make it all fit together. Yeah, No One Cares the musical is not happening anytime soon. I do not have time for that.
Well, but I can totally see a whole our town element to this. People, like the self-important politician or business person or I feel like now I'm casting stereotypes, but you know what I mean. The folks in whatever field of endeavor who just take themselves a little too seriously. As an academic, I can safely say that I've been guilty of that more than a time or two.
Yeah, and what better reminder, I guess, in your life than a song you wrote. I definitely catch myself rambling sometimes. I'm like, yeah, this song is for me too.
Well, that's right, because we all have the experience of, this is groundbreaking and earth-shaking, and everyone needs to know this. And then, of course, there's that delightful pause, right? Do they?
Yes.
Must we share this? It's like, I opened my cereal and I opened it too hard. It went everywhere. Does everybody need to know that? Or I spilled the milk, or I did this, or I did that. And, maybe it's cathartic to share it from time to time, but there is, of course, the burden of oversharing.
Mm-hmm.
As someone who recognizes that it's okay to say okay when someone asks you how you're doing, and not suddenly, I got about 2 hours worth of stuff to talk about. Should we go through this now?
Do you have time?
Well, if you're just joining us, you can see I'm here with my good friend Paul Monnin of Age Nowhere and Neo-American Pioneers. He has a new song that's available now.
It is.
It is out. It is ready for the universe. It's called No One Cares, and we are chatting about that. Where can people get it?
You can stream it on any mainstream streaming platform. You can go to Bandcamp or SoundCloud and download it, or you can go to my website, paulmonnin.com, and you can download a free copy directly from the website.
So we're going to talk more with Paul, but there's some other songs from Age Nowhere that I'd like to play, plus give you a chance to catch your breath and get a drink of water and things like that. And then I also have to say, Age Nowhere was deeply, or I should say Neo-American Pioneers, were deeply involved in a musical event at the Yellow Cab Tavern not too long ago around Creedence Clearwater Revival.
I would love to talk about that.
Yeah, so we've got to talk about that. And I have some brand new, old live Creedence recorded live at the Royal Albert Hall, which I've been listening.
Like last week.
Yeah,
it's phenomenal.
Isn't it a great record?
It's phenomenal.
Like, okay, I knew it was a solid rhythm section, but I had no idea.
Yeah, they were tight, and that was a product. It really was. Fogarty ran a very, very tight ship, and those guys absolutely killed it for that period of time. It was otherworldly. So
we've got to talk about the Creedence show, which people are still raving about.
Well,
and that's good.
All I gotta say is we'll do it again sometime soon.
And of course, you guys played the Levitt Pavilion. Yeah. That was fun.
We're talking about Age Nowhere. Pioneers are playing Levitt soon.
And then Age Nowhere just recently played.
That was awesome. For Dayton by Dayton.
Yeah, Time and I have a love-hate relationship, Paul. But we've got lots to talk about. You have done a lot this year.
It's been fun.
That is not a lie.
I'm grateful.
Is that how you feel?
Heck yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm grateful. It's awesome to live in a city where we can do things like this, and where these opportunities pop up, and to work with, the musicians I work with, and the Pioneers, and Age Nowhere, and that whole band family. The things we've accomplished and the things we've done the last 5 years. It's awesome, man, and I'm just glad to still be doing it, really.
Indeed. So let's jump into some music from Age Nowhere and the aforementioned Creedence Clearwater Revival. I think they got something. I think people are going to be listening to their music years from now.
Absolutely. 100%. Totally.
Yeah, that live record is killer.
Yeah.
I thought, 1970 or something like that. Oh, excuse me. Pardon me.
No, you're good. Yeah, 1970.
Yeah, it's like, okay. I bet, to be in the audience must have just been cool. That must have been fun.
It would have been loud.
Fair,
And
fair.
and it would
You
have
can
been-
tell there's still some distortion.
Yeah.
Obviously technology today is qualitatively different than 1970.
Yes.
Pardon me, excuse me.
Totally, 100%.
But
I never stop thinking about them. Whenever I watch an old concert, you just have to remember, and you were there way before me. Like, we've come a long way, but especially since the 60s and 70s, big shows. The Beatles stopped playing live because they couldn't hear themselves.
Right. All the screaming and then just the awful experience of how it was organized.
Yeah.
Right, like, this is awful.
And it was just, and the way events were run back then was just so loosey-goosey,
Yeah.
You didn't know who was running security or where the gates
Or
were
if you
gonna
even
be.
had good
Yeah,
security.
if there's going to be people on stage. Ain't no telling what was going on in the crowd and who was on what, doing what, where. Things are so much more organized now.
Oh,
and there's so much more policing about everything now. And then, you watch those old videos or listen to those old shows, it's just obvious.
Well, I'm always shocked at like how close crowds are.
Oh yeah.
And like you can, I mean, there's a whole host of documentaries that just came out about both successful and not so successful music events, and it's like, how do you expect to run a successful music event if the crowd is literally spilling into the back, and like where you've got your sound equipment and your soundboard and you shouldn't be doing that. I may not be a smart man, but to quote Forrest, but
I may not be a smart man.
I suspect that you probably want to protect your sound equipment.
Yeah, well, but it just wasn't like that. Things were just different. I wasn't there. I can't explain it.
Yeah. And I certainly don't mean to be overly critical.
But the further back you go, the weirder it is.
Yeah.
Think about baseball games in like 1900.
Right.
You see like the people all standing in the outfield.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. That's,
Well, wait, those people might get in the way of trying to catch
the ball didn't go that far back then either.
Okay,
that's a whole
that is
different
true.
topic.
That is true.
But just, I don't know, the inexact history of humankind leading us to where we are now. I grew up in the 90s, man. We had standardized tests. The chaos of 100 years ago is unreal to me. I don't understand how things got done. How did buildings stand up? I know a lot of people died building them.
Sure. Well, it's kind of funny because
I think about these things all the time.
Parents
This is a day in my life.
Parents took me to shows and like, how did they get a kid in a bar show?
Yeah. You didn't think about it back then.
Gave me a Coke and told me to sit there, and that's exactly what I did.
Yeah. Good parenting, perhaps.
Well, I experienced music at a young age, so I was great with it.
It's all about context.
Nice on the ending, not rushed. I love when it's languid like that. You can set your watch to that.
Yeah. Well, it'd be hard to play in a big venue back then.
Oh,
Band was
sure.
tight. I don't know, man. Sound environment. Sometimes when you're on stage, you can hear everything really well and everything's great. And, a lot of bands use in-ears, and that definitely helps. But I'm trying to imagine, being on stage in a large venue in the 70s, the 60s, and the different sound elements you're dealing with. If you aren't like really, really tight, and really, really confident, it's just not gonna work.
Yeah.
Because that place will eat you up.
Yeah,
You won't hear
yeah.
stuff right. It'll be too loud, and things squeal at you, and yeah.
Well, and that's only going to shake your confidence.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Or
And then it's in your head.
Yeah.
And you're never gonna be quite right.
Right.
And that's I don't know. That's what professional musicians do though. In CCR, those dudes were bad. Like they were bad. These songs are tight. They're just, all the pieces fit really nicely together.
Well, I'm trying to think in their career, like 70. Let's see, CCR is probably Not quite halfway through. They weren't together all that long.
Well, I don't really know like the whole history.
Yeah.
If I wish Dan's body were here.
Yeah, that's true.
He's in the keys.
He knows it.
He's in the keys right now with the fan. His brother got married yesterday.
Oh, that's right. Oh,
So,
we should.
congratulations,
Yes,
Matt,
we should
Logan.
send congratulations to Matt and his blushing bride.
Yes, that's awesome.
Mics are hot. And you gotta love that they say thank you.
Heck yeah.
Creedence Clearwater Revival recorded originally in 1970, out I think like about a week ago or so.
Yeah.
And just a great band. And while people might quibble, there's a few clips, especially on the vocals. It was recorded in 1970, and I know we were just talking off air. That rhythm section is just dynamic.
And it's just practice and confidence, man. Practice and confidence and togetherness. Those guys work together every day. They played a million shows together. They crafted all that stuff in the studio. They knew the songs like the back of their hand. And it didn't matter if they were playing in a hurricane. It would have been right on.
Well, and what's amazing is if anybody knows the venue, the Royal Albert Hall, it's an intimidating space.
Yes, it's an intimidating space, and as we were discussing off air, the sound environments and the equipment they were using is not nearly as exact or as precise or as clear or reliable as anything we use now. And once again, that confidence, that practice together, that familiarity, the knowledge of the songs, that unwavering beat and that unwavering rhythm is what keeps it together no matter what's going on.
If you're joining us, you're listening to your Tuesday afternoon alternative here on WUDR Dayton. Rockin' the Gem City, music in all directions, support your local music scene. I am here with terrific local musician Paul Monnin, who has just released a new single, No One Cares. And I feel bad just saying it, right? So, okay, points to you, good sir.
It's good copy.
It really is. It's evocative, right? The title alone is evocative. But No One Cares is available however or wherever you get your music.
Yes.
And of course, Paul is also in Age Nowhere, who just recently played the Levitt Pavilion, and Neo-American Pioneers, who are about to do some stuff. And I also think, I believe, is it Age Nowhere is playing Porch Fest?
Both bands.
Oh,
are
both
playing
bands.
Porch Fest.
Okay.
Yeah, that is our next show. We're on the same porch. One is at 4 p.m. and one is at 6 p.m.
That's good, because I don't think the same time thing would work for you.
No, it would not. But it's nice. It's nice though. We get to load all of our gear into the same house.
Oh, that is lovely.
We're back to back, so one band stops and tear down, put the other band up, and play on.
So Age Nowhere, right? You've got 2 albums.
Yeah.
And I know you've got more songs.
Yeah.
Is there plans to release more music in the near future?
I don't know about near future. At least not Age Nowhere. We're in pre-production for a 3rd album. That is a couple years out at least, and I don't know. We might have something out before then, but I have no idea. Pioneers, I don't know. We just like playing the CCR shows, and Billy's been globetrotting and working.
Indeed, I live vicariously through
He
his
does
pictures.
a ton of traveling for work too. He's been out of the state much of the summer, and we'll get something together though, I'm sure.
But that last Neo-American Pioneers record, oh, what a phenomenal record!
I'm very. I actually just went back to that maybe 2 weeks ago. I hadn't listened to it in quite a while, and I'm super happy with how that turned out. And I don't know, it's just a really different record. The way it's structured, the way like the songs kind of, the track list moves is not like something I would ever make. Billy's songs are phenomenal, and Heather's song, Never Met a Heart Like Mine, is awesome. And yeah, it was a cool like time for the band. And I think it really shows growth over our previous effort, just because of how much more cohesive we are.
Well, and it sounds to my ear like you're singing a lot more on this record than previous.
That's true.
And it almost seems like they're I don't know if it's correct, and please do correct me. Do fact check me on here. It seems like there are more keyboards and there's more stuff that you're doing that's woven into the mix.
Yeah, and that's just because when they started making Beginning to Unfold, I wasn't in the band. They added Heather and I midway through the recording of that album, and that's just kind of how the album took shape. And this time we had a solid lineup the whole way through.
So here we are. It is August. You've got Porch Fest coming up for both bands. H&R just played Levitt Pavilion. What was Levitt like?
It was phenomenal, and I want to take a second. Excuse me, hang on a second. Sorry about that.
How dare you? I'm kidding.
Just drinking a little too much water. Wanted to take a second to thank the band. Kyle, Jeremy, Evan, Matt, Dan, and of course Lisa and everybody at the Levitt, because that was awesome. We got an email on Wednesday afternoon that
wow, that's short notice.
That the Levitt had music on Thursday, and that there had been a COVID case, and that they needed somebody to fill in, and we were able to get everybody on board and get it scheduled and get everybody down there and sound check it and play it. And it was a high point for sure.
You sounded awesome. Great. The band sounded great. You sounded great.
Thanks, man.
I really enjoyed that show. Also, Nautical Theme.
Yeah,
that night.
I was going to
Matt
shout
Tesha,
out. Yes,
fantastic.
Shout out.
I'm a huge fan. And it's interesting though, because Aged Nowhere doesn't sound like Nautical Theme or vice versa. They're different bands, but it worked really well. It was a very cohesive show.
It was the third time in a row that we've played right before or after them. We played after
like Sideshow or something.
A Sideshow we played right before them, and then for Dayton by Dayton at Riverscape we played right after them. So we called it our summer tour.
That's right. I like it. But that had to be fun playing the Levitt stage, which is a truly large stage, right? It's got professional sound, professional lights. People from all over in the community come. It's such a lovely space. Brings people together. And okay, wow. So you get the email on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Throw it together, rather quickly. Was there any trepidation with that timeline?
No. That's not at all. We have a solid core in the band. We have a set we've worked on. We didn't change anything up. We didn't have time to run a rehearsal or anything, but that's what it should be like.
Yeah.
It is when you get really confident with a group. If you have an opportunity to go and show up and do something that you wouldn't have had the opportunity to do, if everything had gone according to plan. If you have the opportunity to pinch hit, show up ready.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. It was great. I was not worried about it at all, and it was so much fun. It was pretty surreal.
And I've got to say, I could tell in the crowd. I'm looking around, and people are into it, and it was such a nice experience. All the way around, at least from my perspective.
It was definitely one to remember. It was really cool just to look out and see the city and to be up there performing at the same time. It was because I've seen a lot of my friends play on that stage and seen a lot of professionals play up on that stage, and I've definitely thought about it. And it's always cool when you want to do something in life, and then you get up there and you're doing it. So you're like, okay, we did it. That's great. It was nice.
And then now on August 20th, we have, of course, the great event at St. Anne's Hill. Great community here in Dayton. We've got Porch Fest. Neo-American Pioneers and Aged Nowhere are playing Porch Fest. Totally different experience and space than Levitt Pavilion.
100%, but equally free and equally outdoors.
which I love. Summer is just, of course, great for outdoor shows, but just the vibe of the city in the summer.
Well, I we were talking about, we were nerding out about how different things are in playing live music. I love old buildings and old architecture, and St. Anne's Hill is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And walking around St. Anne's Hill and seeing all the bands playing up on the porches is pretty much like time traveling.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you're into sci-fi or whatever, but time traveling's pretty cool.
I have not time traveled so far as I know, but I certainly am into both utopian and dystopian science fiction. But it is a really nice space. There's an energy to St. Anne's Hill, and especially during an event like Porch Fest, right, where you can see just about any kind of genre or style that you're interested in, and it's just nice to see the folks in the city come together and enjoy music.
And it's just a fun day. If you have kids, it's a family friendly event. It's something to do, experience the city outside, interact with your neighbors, see local music, people who are from around here and who play here all the time. I don't know. It's one of my favorite days of the year. It always has been. Ever since.
It feels like a holiday to me.
It is. It's definitely a holiday. It's definitely one every year I mark that down on my calendar. Whether I'm playing or not, that's what I'm going to be doing all day, because it's fun. It's different. There's nothing else in Dayton like it, and yeah, be there. Porch Fest is great.
And of course, we'll be talking much more about Porch Fest as we approach, which, wow, is like 11 days.
Yeah, that is a fact.
It is under 2 weeks from now. So those of you who can come to Porch Fest, please do so. If you live outside of the city of Dayton, I say generate your own Porch Fest. It's just really neat. The hosts basically give up their porch for a day for musicians, and people mill around the neighborhood. There's stuff to eat and drink, and you just block some traffic, though not all, in the area, and it's just a great community event. I did see you brought your guitar, Paul.
I sure did.
Any chance I can convince you to play something here in a moment?
I'll do one or two for you, whatever.
Okay. I can say "Pretty Please." I can throw the sugar. I can go all out.
You got it, Dr.
I can
J.
go all out.
You got it, man.
So another favorite of mine, "Perfect Stranger."
Okay.
I know we've already talked about this before, but Tracy, Mrs. Dr. J, heard me listening to this the other day, and she's like, I'll just lay it out there. She's just like, I'm not sure if this is a heartbreak song or if it's like tongue-in-cheek and, it's more like a song about heartbreak songs. And then I thought, okay, which one of us is the academic again? But how do you respond to that?
I think probably the most unique thing about this song is that it is sung from, by a man, and it's sung from a kind of submissive perspective. Mm-hmm. And whether that makes it a heartbreak song, I don't know. But that I think that's the thing that I have always thought about this song that was different. And that was definitely like the motivating theme, is to capture the energy of being taken as a man.
Yeah. Well, there does appear to be longing in the song.
Yes, absolutely.
And the longing for connection, or the longing for fun, or whatever however people want to put it, right? There is different forms of longing, either explicit or implicit in the song.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, when Tracy said that, I'm like, dude, I'm not emotionally prepared to answer that question. But I thought
it does take. I guess upon further reflection, it does take a sort of pain to feel this way. I guess
Well, it's like you're putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
Like perfect stranger. I find you very attractive. Take me home.
Yes.
Is it take me home, or is it please take me home? You know what I mean? Those are two qualitatively different sets of emotions.
I would say the latter. Sure.
But do you mind popping in after this and playing a couple?
Yeah, that's cool.
And I can only say please.
I brought it.
And do you want to stand as you play, or did you want to Because I do have this without the arms.
I'll stand.
Thanks for watching, everyone. We have more posters that we could put up, but right now we are preparing in a couple of years to move to the new performance space at the new center that's being built near campus. So it is more the please take.
Oh yeah.
But it is a neat, usually the male protagonist is like, oh, I'm the person in charge and blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
So it does shift the voice, I guess.
Yes, there's a shift in
And
voice.
that was intentional on your part.
Is absolutely, yeah. That was definitely like the thing that drove the song. That was it's what I wanted to capture.
Yeah. But it also just feels like a classic country song to my ears.
I love that stuff, man. I listen to it all the time. So,
only the highest tech here.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Nothing wrong with repurposing a box.
Yeah. If it works, it works. We still got another solo to go.
Thank you for coming in, by the way. I really appreciate it. I know how busy you are and how busy we all are.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're always welcome.
Well,
Tracy's like, you tell everybody they're always welcome. Because they are.
Yeah. And unless I hear otherwise, you know.
Yeah. Oh, God forbid.
Yes, they have their Dr. J privileges revoked.
Oh, dear Lord. That makes me sound far more powerful than I am. I have no idea what to do with those feelings. It's lovely. I mean, it's getting kind of scary though, because November is like 18 years of doing this. It's like, dude, that's like the show is going to leave me and go to college. Fortunately,
yes, we're all, we'll be living right next door.
This guy, so I can snap some fun pictures. Of course, the show will go on. I didn't even realize that was you. Mics are hot. Perfect Stranger from Age Nowhere. You're listening to WUDR Dayton. Rockin' the Gem City, music in all directions, support your local music scene. I'm here with Paul Monnin, who has a new single, No One Cares, available now wherever you stream. Or may I just kindly suggest purchase the music. Of course, I'm sure there's Bandcamp, there's Paul's page. Anywhere you can get it, I encourage you to do so. Paul has graciously agreed to play a couple of songs live for us. What do you have for us, Paul?
I'm going to start with a Blaze Foley tune that John Prine covered. It's called Clay Pigeons. I'm going down to the Greyhound station, gonna get a ticket to ride. Gonna find that lady with 2 or 3 kids and sit down by her side. Ride until the sun comes up and down around me about 2 or 3 times. Smoking cigarettes in the last seat. And try and hide my sorrow from the people I meet and get along with it all. Go down where people say, oh, sing a song with a friend. Change the shape that I'm in. get back in the game, start playing again. I'd like to stay, but I might have to go and start over again. Might go back down to Texas and might go to somewhere that I've never been. Get up in the morning and go out at night, I won't have to go home. Get used to being alone. Change the words to this song, start singing again. I'm tired of running around looking for answers to questions that I already know. I could build me a castle of memories just to have somewhere to go. Count the days and the nights that it takes to get back in the saddle again. Feed the pigeons some clay, turn the night into day. Start talking again when I know what to say. I'm going down to the Greyhound station and I'm gonna get a ticket to ride. I'm gonna find that lady with 2 or 3 kids and sit down by her side and ride until the sun comes up and down around me about 2 or 3 times. Feed the pigeons some clay, turn the night into day. Start talking again when I know what to say.
What a great cover.
Thanks, man. I love that song. It's an easy, a really good song is pretty easy to cover, you know.
Well, and it's so evocative, right? It's so. I don't mean to say like it's full of emotion, but there's full of intent.
It's definitely full of emotion, though. It's like I don't know, like the speakers has this kind of sense of like. In understanding who Blaze Foley was, it makes a lot of sense. Like,
Yeah.
he's just gonna get on a bus, and like, and you know, sit next to a woman with a couple of kids. What he means by that is like, take the seat that nobody else is gonna take.
Yes.
He's gonna sit in the back. And he's gonna smoke cigarettes and just you know, he's just gonna ride it for a couple of days and go wherever and like clear his head. You know, it's just, and yeah, it takes a lot of like, who would do that? Somebody who's just like hurt or just tired or just wants to get away. Yeah, and the song, the tune definitely captures that same energy, and it's very evocative.
What else do you have for us?
That's a good question.
Well, it literally your choice, my friend. Anything you want to play.
Yeah, I will. I'll do another one for you. I know what I'll do. I wrote this one quite a while ago. I don't think you've ever heard it, so whatever. You're always on my mind, even in my sleep. Oh, how sweet it is to dream about you. Could've sworn you were in my arms, lying there right here next to me. Oh, how sweet it is to dream about you. How bitter it tastes to awake and to know you float away. Oh, how much it hurts to be without you. When I close my eyes, my heart runs wild and free. Oh, how sweet it is to dream about you. go and occupy my mind to try and fill your seat. Oh, how sweet it is to dream about you. But when I close my eyes, oh, my heart can't keep a beat. Oh, how sweet it is to dream about you. And how bitter it tastes to awake and to know you've flown away. Oh, how much it hurts to be without you. When I close my eyes, oh, my heart runs wild and free. Oh, how sweet it is to dream about you. Oh, how sweet it is to dream about you. Oh, how sweet it is to dream about you.
That sounds like an Irving Berlin song.
I'll take it.
How did you approach writing that song?
Woke up from a nap and wrote it. Pretty much.
Really?
Yeah.
That was just something that
Yeah.
you just sat down and boom.
Yeah, I had a woman I'd been seeing who'd moved out of the country,
Yeah.
and I woke up from a nap and woke up at like 6 p.m. and I realized that it was about the same time she'd be waking up in the morning, like across the world, and I wrote it in like a couple hours.
Wow. So do you find that some of the songs that really speak to you, you write quickly?
Most of them I feel like that like really stick, yeah. But I don't know, it's not like a one size fits all thing. Sometimes something really lasting can come from a lot of labor, and I don't know. There's definitely strong examples of both that I've come across in my personal experience.
Of course. Paul Monnin here in the studio for your Tuesday afternoon alternative. He has a terrific new single, No One Cares, available wherever you can stream or buy your music. Paul, first of all, I want to thank you so much for coming in. I want to thank you for all of your efforts with music and the arts here in the city. It means a lot.
Oh, thanks, and same to you. Thank you for all of your efforts with music and the arts within the city. It means a lot.
You were too nice. You were too nice.
That's no, but I'm just grateful to be here. Thanks to everybody who listens and watches and supports the show because it's awesome. Your Tuesday afternoon alternative, rock on. 18 years. 18 years, baby.
Scary. I am so frightened of that fact. You know, other than perhaps my professional teaching life and marriage and kids, the radio show. It's like, wow. I'm not sure how to process it yet. We'll get there. I'll figure it out.
It's awesome though. And,
it really is wonderful.
It's a great program, and I'm glad to be a part of it every now and again.
Do not cash that check. No, it's bad. It's a bad check. I lied. No, thank you for your kind words. It's really sweet of you to say. Do you have something you might be able to play us out for this hour?
Sure.
Not to put you on the spot, but hey, can I put you on the spot?
Yeah, I'll play something. I don't know why I'm playing this, but come and gather all around me, listen to my tale of woe. Got some good advice to give you, lots of things you ought to know. Take a tip from one who's traveled and never stop rambling round. Cause once you get the roaming fever, you never want to settle down. Boy, you never want to settle down. Met a little girl in Frisco, and I asked her to be my wife. told her I was tired of roaming, I was gonna settle down for life. Then I heard the whistle blowing, and I knew it was a red ball train. And I left that gal beside the railroad. I never saw that gal again, boy. I never saw that gal again. I saw that gal again. Never saw that gal again. I left that gal beside the railroad. Never saw that gal again. Traveled all over the country. Oh, I've traveled everywhere. I've been on every branch line railroad. Never paid a nickel's fare. Been from Maine to California, and from Canada to Mexico. And I never tried to save no money, so now I got no place to go, boy. Now I got no place to go. Listen to a boomer story, pay attention to what I say. I hear another train coming, guess I'll be on my way. So if you wanna do me a favor when I lay me down and die, just dig my grave beside the railroad so I can hear the trains go by, boy. So I can hear the trains go by. I hear the trains go, so I can hear the trains go by. Just dig my grave beside the railroad, so I can hear the trains go by.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Paul Monnin here in the studio. He has a new song, No One Cares, out now, available wherever you stream and buy music. Paul, I can't thank you enough for coming in and talking to us and playing some music.
You're so welcome. Thanks for having me once again, and thank you everybody for listening. This is great.
So you are listening to WUDR, Dayton, rockin' the Gem City, music in all directions. Support your local music scene. And we're clear.
The infamous Wallflowers drop.
You know, people will be like, you never play the whole song. I'm like, I did once.
Yes. It is no longer alternative.
Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you.
Love
Bye.
everyone. And then Chris.
I don't know why when another one of my drops. Okay, nice. But
I love this cover too.
oh yeah, Dan did a great job with this, man. This was Dan's idea.
Well,
He recorded it.
I'm a huge Sunvolt fan. I'm a huge J4R fan.
Yeah, this turned out really well. And I love this song.
Ooh, we made it. 4% battery life.